Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a longer video for you covering a tier list, but it's an ALGS edition. This video is full of tips, meta, and really our biggest tip for you, the viewer, is that you really impact the meta for ALGS. Remember that if a legend is lower in the tier list, it really means that you could outplay their potential and really change up the meta. We've seen that time and time again. This is why it's the ALGS edition of what we see and where we see the current meta being. So let's deep dive into the video.
Hello everyone. How are we doing? Welcome back to the Daz and Noob King show. No, I'm just kidding. But
we're gonna leave that in there. I love it. Let's get into it. Let's talk about Revenant first. You know what's interesting? How would rank this for ALGS? The most reworked legend that had no presence. How would we rank Revenant even if it wasn't played in LGS? What would you rank him?
Even if he wasn't played in ALGS?
Yeah. How would you rank this? What would a pro think of a Revenant?
I mean, right now, Revenant in ranked is super strong.
Yeah.
But in the upper tier, like pro, I mean, I'd probably give him like a B. I think he's like pretty busted. Like if you start knocking people, I think he's pretty nuts.
Do you think that people in ALGS aren't running this more because it's just an unknown variable right now? It's too dangerous to run something like this because you don't know how the dynamic works. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, it's the same thing. I said that about Catalyst. I said Catalyst is going to be one of the strongest legends, and no one used her, and then all of a sudden everyone used her. And that's just kind of like what we see every single time a new legend comes out. They want to go through that character development with their team, see how they're used and how they can actually be implemented in fights and scenarios. Yeah, I think personally, I think one of the weaknesses is his audio. And I know that sounds like funny because obviously everyone complains about audio, but when you equip that heirloom or you're healing or anything like that, his audio is so unbalanced that I genuinely cannot hear the game around me. So I think that's a strong weakness that a lot of people aren't thinking about.
Let's segue with that audio decision. Let's talk about Octane. Octane with a jump pad is really loud in general, right? So how would we rank this for ALGS? Octane.
I'm giving him like I used to main Octane. Okay, I was like number 2 in the world for kills at one time. And I'm gonna put that man like literally second to bottom. Like there's,
ooh man,
I don't see a world where Octane is ever gonna be viable in comp right now.
I mean, I'm gonna have to kind of agree. He's very. I mean, the biggest thing that I would push and like why pros don't use it is that the one utility to move you around, the jump pad, is the loudest thing and the most predictable thing in the world to shoot now.
Oh, totally. I mean, if you're on M&K or even controller, I mean, it really doesn't matter. You do a little bit of aim training. You're used to tracking that curve motion like nonstop. So I think
it's a shame. It's really a shame.
It really is. Yeah.
The casuals love Octane. So us putting it down very low is going to upset a lot of them. I guarantee it. What would you say, in your opinion, is the weakness then besides a jump pad? Why would he be so bad if he's got that movement?
How they typically use Octane in fights, like so many people don't understand, like not stimming to a fight because you're going to hear it, not using your jump pad in certain situations, like changing directions in your jump pad. I mean, the list goes on, but I think when it comes to like his weakness, it's that people don't really understand, like as opposed to like a Lemonhead, right? Like you look at him and the way he plays and moves with him, he understands that character fully. So him fighting with him, of course, but there's 0.00001% people in the world that are playing like him, you know? So
here's another controversial one, because I think that's a fantastic point. Let's segue to another really popular legend. And this is interesting because Timmy wasn't even playing Pathfinder, right? Pathfinder's a very, very popular legend with a lot of great movement potential, but why don't we see Pathfinder in ALGS?
I love Pathfinder. I've been having so much fun with him, especially with his new buff. But I mean, it just goes down to the hitbox and his grapple. Severely, he is in a bad place right now. I'd put him in like D tier.
I agree.
D tier for sure.
Better than Octane, right? I mean, you get the zip, but then realistically, same thing. The strengths and weaknesses are very similar. You know, the zip is very predictable, right? Would you agree? You know,
100%.
I agree. I used to see him utilized in APAC North, but even those teams have gone away from the Pathfinder meta, and it definitely makes me sad. It makes me sad, I'm not going to lie. Speaking of meta changing, this segues us to Wraith, which is very interesting because Wraith used to be the #1 pick across the board, but then Wraith has completely fallen off. Why do you think this has happened? Why has Wraith disappeared from being an S tier to where we're about to put her, realistically?
Yeah, this is a hard one for me because I think as Wraith shifts off meta, she becomes more meta. I've been seeing a lot of results playing Wraith in ranked and being able to get between those buildings. I mean, I'd see she's between B and C tier.
Yeah.
But these ports, man, like, I mean, Wraith is really strong whenever you pair her with someone, and that would be like a catalyst. Like, being able to port into a building, instantly block it off, instantly res your teammates, she's strong, right? So I'd definitely say C tier for that. Oh, no, without a doubt. I mean, when people come to me and they're like, what legends should I play? I'm like, play Wraith, play Horizon, or play Octane, and like get to learn those legends because they're the easiest legends that are all ground-based, obviously not Horizon. You know, that's probably taking a little bit step further, but
when we're
so,
talking about Horizon as your recommendation, I think this is a good segue because Horizon was number 3 highest picked overall in ALGS. Would you agree that Horizon would be S or A tier?
Yeah, I think she's definitely going to still be A tier. I can't give her S tier because her Q is just way too predictable. It's literally like the vertical version of the Octane jump pad.
Yeah.
Like you throw that thing down and everyone is just sitting there waiting for you to take it. Another thing, I think a weakness that a lot of people use that they fall into using with Horizon is when they Q, they actually Q when they're low health to get out of a fight. And I never understand that. Like they'll throw the Horizon Q on the ground, 20 HP, and expect to not get destroyed off of it. And you see it happen all the time, especially even in ALGS. I mean, the list goes on when you see that. So typically for me, I'll place the Q looking to pop a bat. If I get knocked, the Q's on the ground. I kind of do like the reverse motion of that, you know?
Here's another one that now that we are filling up these ranks, Bangalore, one of the highest picks in ALGS, big surprise. Where would you put Bangalore? Is this, you know what's crazy? Is that Bangalore has been around with barely any changes. Why did this happen? Why is Bangalore becoming so popular? What happened here?
I think there was a multiple things. Bangalore Smoke. So Bangalore Smoke got a buff, right? Like you can correct me if I'm wrong on that.
I don't think they made that change. I mean, it's always been a thing, you know?
That's kind of how I think about, I think Bangalore like Catalyst, right? Like that smoke is so thick that when it goes down, it's thick. When the smoke goes down, I totally think it's so hard to see people. You can actually use that as like a wall. It's literally about the same length as a catalyst wall when you shoot 2 smokes down in like a straight line. Her ult stuns, and the spread of that ult really does open up a lot for the fight. And as a kind of like that entry frag character as well, the double time is so hard to track. Yeah. I'm definitely going to put Bang S tier. And also, she shifts the meta, right? Like, if you know you have a Bangalore on your team, you are either forced to play a Scan Legend or forced to use an SMG that is going to have a Digi threat on it. Her kits that she gets out of those supply bins are ridiculous, plus the ammo stacking. So, I mean, she is all around, like, one of the best legends in the game right now. And she comes full force. Like, small hitbox, good movement, good feeling character, extra ammo, can open up bins, get guns right off drop. The list goes on. This character is definitely S tier.
It's crazy because that's considered a sleeper. You know what I mean? Like it's been hidden there for so long and nobody capitalized on it. Let's start to move a little faster through some of these and let's see if we can discover a sleeper. Bloodhound. Okay. Bloodhound is an interesting one because the pick rate wasn't insane and pretty much replaced Seer.
I'm sorry, but I just gotta say, I think he is slept on so hard right now.
I think so too. Is this like the B tier? Is like the slept on list?
I might honestly put him in an A tier.
Okay.
I say that because of you can get your Bloodhound ult within like the first minute that you land. I mean, it's pretty fast if you're scanning the birds. Plus, a lot of people don't know how the birds work, right? Like the birds work in telling you which direction a team is, whether you're looking for a rat or if you're looking to avoid them, how close they are between the bird lengths. Like the little arrows that are indicated there are actually telling you how close they are, how far away they are. Bangalore pairing him with, this character is slept on right now. Yeah, you're destroying teams for sure.
Yeah, let's talk about Lifeline. What about Lifeline? Is this a sleeper too, or just
You know, I've always been a big Lifeline fan, and people are probably going to be annoyed with this, but I'd put her at like a C, B tier legend. I'm gonna let you pick where
I think she falls in C. Okay. You know what's crazy? What's interesting in arenas? People are like, what is arenas? In arenas, she had that power behind her, right? She literally made the whole dynamic and changed everything through her res. And then the hardest part is in ALGS, you don't want to get knocked to use this utility. If you have to rely on a Lifeline utility, then that's like the fight already feels like you lost.
I think why she slipped on is because of her healing capabilities. I think the drone paired with the heat shield, which obviously you're not going to see in ALGS, but the drone, the meds, I mean, how fast you can res your teammates, the capability of that, like having to fight, plus if she has a gold res, you know.
So as we segue over to Loba now, there's always a Loba, at least one in ALGS. There's always one.
Yeah, I think right now with Loba's capabilities of being able to craft banners, definitely B tier. She feels good when you're
Better than a Lifeline, would you say?
But yeah, I think she's better than a Lifeline.
I think that's why we're seeing her. I would agree.
Yeah, I mean the Loba ult, craft the banners, and then her ring to get out is pretty cool.
Here's another sleeper. Here's another sleeper. Because I agree with you on this. Fuse.
Honestly, that man's like an A tier. Like you look at people like Fun, FPS, you know, Fun.
Yeah.
That man was one of the first people that I've seen introduce Fuse into the comp scene. And obviously there's a lot more people, and I'm sure someone will correct me on this, but seeing people that played Fuse with like high knowledge and high game sense and the way that they stack nades, opened up fights, and then his buff with his ultimate to like trap people in buildings, stop rotations, plus it's scanning them is insane. So
let's talk about the next one. Catalyst. We look at another S tier?
Right now, yes. Definitely S tier, definitely used a lot in ALGS. Yeah, I mean, there's not much you could say there. She's just an all-around strong character. There's a couple things that I probably would like to be fixed with her, but right now I think she's in a good spot paired with against majority of the legends. So definitely S tier.
And also stopping teams flat out with a door and then rebuilding it and having to force grenades. It is so impossible to push a good catalyst. Even her tactical can be thrown in front of her and protect her. No weaknesses otherwise.
No, yeah, literally none.
Now let's talk about somebody who used to be picked a lot, which is Valkyrie, and they got replaced pretty much with evac towers, to be honest.
Down there with like the E or D for sure. Probably an E. Yeah.
I compromise D.
Okay,
it's better than an Octane. I mean, right?
It's just like you hear that Valk ult go off, you are hunting like you smell blood in the water and you're a shark. Like that is just, and the amount of times where people would just oob in. I think her strengths are being able to determine where teams are at, which I like off the balloons. I think that's cool, but taking a Valk ult, death sentence in a pro lobby or high tier lobby.
Here's somebody you used to play a lot, and I loved watching you play her. Mad Maggie.
Oh man. I think Maggie slept on. It makes me sad that we might not see her with her current kit be in ALGS, but I would give Maggie like a B tier. Maggie. Oh, okay. How do you feel about her? Where
I would say almost B or C. Like it's better than Valkyrie, better than Path, but slept on, but just not Revenant or Loba, right?
Yeah. Well, so this is my thing, right? I think she's an insane entry character. Like if you know how to pair the ball and the drill together, you can do some ridiculous things with her, plus the shotgun, plus the running speed that you get when you're on her ball tracks. Like, so I mean, I would go with C. I'm not opposed to that at all, but I definitely think that she is a sleeper, and maybe she gets a buff to her kit, but ultimately I think she's in a really good place. She feels like a great legend. The movement feels good.
You know, you convinced me. I'll put her B. I'll put her B because it's definitely better than a Wraith or Lifeline, because it is true. It counters a catalyst when done well. She really does.
Yep, 100%.
Speaking of somebody who's not meta, I'm gonna be honest. Mirage.
Yeah, pretty F tier. I mean, it'd be cool to see him utilized like end games, but thinking that you're making it all the way to the end with Mirage, like people don't understand. Like he used to be I actually really like the way that he used to go invisible opposed to this one now. I think if they were stacked, he'd be a lot stronger. But yeah,
even the best Fuse player, or sorry, Mirage player, I can't even remember him because he's so irrelevant. I feel so bad. Somebody's gonna comment down below. It's like, I hate you, Daz. But like Mirage just doesn't offer anything. And even if the player is amazing, wouldn't it be better if they played somebody else higher up on the list?
Mirage is a character that you pick because your ego is too big to let go of Mirage.
I've seen some great plays of Mirage. Don't get me wrong. I've been bamboozled.
Yeah, 100%.
I hate fighting them when they're good.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Could you imagine ALGS with 20 Mirages?
It would be terrible. Or everyone would figure out exactly how to determine which Mirage is which without a problem.
All right, what about Ashe? This one's... I would put it next to Octane.
Tough one, man.
Honestly.
Yeah. I mean, being able to determine death boxes, where they're at,
wouldn't you just want a beacon at that point? Like
yeah, she kind of has been replaced by the beacon. That's a great point.
They gotta buff it to give her something. Like now, like okay, you can say, oh, where the fight's happening, just go run a scan legend.
I'd give it an Octane tier for sure.
Yeah,
E tier without a doubt.
I agree. What about next to is Caustic, who actually used to be extremely strong in ALGS.
I think Caustic is a C tier. I think he fits right in there with Lifeline, Wraith. I mean, he's good at trapping the building up, but why not just play Catalyst, throw the goo, pair it with the Bangalore?
If Catalyst didn't exist, would you put Caustic at B?
I'd probably put him at A.
But because Cat exists, he gets dropped.
There's no reason to play him. Yeah,
Oh,
the
that's
Catalyst
fair.
wall is better. Like the Caustic alt doesn't spread out far enough, and it's super limited to like you have to play a room with him. So
True. Next is a newer legend, is Ballistic.
D. Yeah, he's
Even
not really
better
too
than
much.
better. Like think of a pro. Would a pro ever run a Ballistic?
I think so. If they knew that their loot spot was bad, and they needed to like have infinite ammo, or maybe that was something that they were running out of because they maybe it's a team that rotates super fast and they need to have that ammo perk. I really don't see a use for him besides those ones that we listed.
It's a good segue because this one is a little more sentimental, so I can't place this one. I'm gonna need your help. Wattson, okay? My girl Wattson. Please don't do her too dirty.
I think Wattson's pretty good. I think an insane Wattson. There's a lot of insane Wattsons out there.
Me.
Yeah, you. I mean, literally you.
People are gonna comment Lamech.
Me, but Lamech.
I would say Wattson at B.
I was gonna say B.
Okay, all right, we're on the same page.
Yeah, good fencer, good way to place your ult, and the regen of the shields, and not having to stack shield cells. I think she's good. I mean, you're a skilled player, B tier. You're an unskilled player. That's like learning how to play the legend, probably D or E. That if you're really trying to learn to use her, but I think she's great.
This one really hurts me. Is Vantage.
Yeah, you already know where I'm putting her at.
Where are you putting her?
I'm putting her at the bottom.
What?
Mirage.
No way would you put Vantage that low.
Yeah.
No way.
Dude, that bird is that bat is so easy to track. Plus, I mean, her sniper scope's really good, but I mean, I can dodge the laser beam coming at my forehead.
But when somebody's good, let's say it's me on the roll, okay?
If it's you on the roll, I'd
E.
give it a C.
C?
I'd give it a C. If it's you, yes.
Okay.
A C or a D for sure. Yeah, you can determine shields. That's cool. I could also just shoot you once and determine your shield. And then
True.
that's
a good point.
yeah, she doesn't really offer too much. And as we continue to grow with this game, I think a lot of these legends start getting washed out.
Just so I'm not too biased, I'll leave ready.
Okay.
I'll leave ready.
That's fine. Yeah.
What about Rampart? I've been seeing this in ALGS, not this current iteration.
Rampart is so much fun and so sleeper. I put her at B for sure.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, the barricade of the door plus shooting through it, the ultimate is nuts. Like she's a B tier legend for sure.
With somebody who's good, you see, was Aberlele really rocking Rampart? Oof, makes her look good.
G Dolphin, he's solo queued from like bronze to pred with her solo.
He plays Vantage.
Again, you guys are like 2 in a billion players.
All right, fair enough. All right, we'll move on. What about we're gonna start getting into the sleeper group. Okay, Gibralter.
I think Gibraltar's a B tier. I'm always gonna be a fan of Gibby. Gun shield's insane. If you understand how to jiggle peek bubbles and bubble fights is nuts.
Yep.
He changes the entire environment, kind of like the Bangalore with the digi threats, allowing your team to be more like ready for those shotgun fights and those bubble fights. Bubble reses are great. Until they figure out a way to add damage to that bubble, I always think he's going to be B or higher.
What about Newcastle? Because we're kind of in the same vein here.
A tier.
A tier above Gibraltar?
I mean, he's doing the best of 2 legends, Lifeline and Gibby, plus offense, plus like you watch someone like Taxi play him. I would even put Newcastle in the S. If people understood how to play Newcastle the way Taxi does, he would be an S tier legend.
Oh man, well, what's crazy is why don't we see more Newcastles? Is kind of like a Fuse situation, or Bloodhound just doesn't understand how to maximize on it?
I can imagine how this is going to be played out with Newcastle every single time. How to place my wall correctly, when to res you, when not to. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of variables there. So that's kind of why I compared to like controller. Like, that's why you see so many people swapping a controller, because there's not too many variables. Like, you know how to beam on controller. You're good on controller. Cool. Like, you're always going to have that consistency as you play. But that's kind of why I'm making these comparisons as I'm getting lost. Just because someone is slept on or is placed poorly does not mean that that's the maximum capabilities of that legend and what the end result will always be for them. Like, it is up to you guys to really determine and put these legends on the map.
Yeah. And speaking of which, one that's fallen off the map, that was on the map, is Seer.
Thank God.
I love that response.
Get him out, man.
Well, where would you put Seer based? Because I still think that he slept on. He's still strong. I don't know why people have gravitated so far away. It's like whenever they nerfed Seer before, they were like, "No, Seer's terrible," and then came out of nowhere with and didn't even change.
Yeah, I think Seer is a C tier legend. Yeah, I think his ultimate is great. Everyone likes the third party, man. We play a game that has no remorse for third partying. You throw that thing down, people will see it across the map and they are hunting you down. I think that's the weakness. The strong suit, obviously, you have wall hacks. You can see where they're at. The Q is really predictable. It's super easy to get away from. If he can't cancel heals, D. If he can, C. Ultimate's cool. And there's not much to him anymore. I mean, it's a cheater's pick, right? 90% of people that are cheating are still playing Seer. So this is one thing that I will say, and we talked about it earlier, is off meta is the way to change the meta. You get really good at playing something. I said Seer was going to be great before he became great. And I'm not saying I'm that person that will always know that, but I played Seer, thought he was broken. No one believed it. Tested for a season, became broken.
Same thought process I had with Horizon. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, Horizon's busted. She's broken. Everyone laughed at me. I remember playing scrims whenever she was coming out, and they were like, "Why are you playing such a horrible legend?" I was like, "She is good." We talk about legend sleepers. This is the least picked legend in the entire game. Fun fact. Crypto.
It's sad to say that I would personally. I've seen some really cool crypto plays. I would almost put crypto as a B tier, C tier legend. If you understand how to use his new drone capabilities, when to EMP, when not to. We did see crypto played a little bit in ALGS, which I kind of enjoyed, but I think again, crypto is one of those legends you have to be willing to think outside the box when you use him. And if you're not, again, it goes back to that thing. Is it consistency, or is it something that I can trust this guy to do every single time and show up when he plays him or when they play him?
This is one of the hardest legends to play in the game, in my opinion.
Dude, I don't know how to play crypto. I don't. I've tried it. People troll me by using channel points in my chat to play crypto because they know I'm so bad with him. So,
and ladies and gentlemen, this is our list. I think we've done a pretty fair analysis. I mean, we kind of have ALGS to kind of back us what people are using. I want to give a big shout out to my man Noob King for taking the time to hop in. You got to follow him on Twitch. He streams over on TikTok. He's uploading more to YouTube. I keep pushing him to upload more to YouTube, but he's going to do it. I promise.
I'm coming back, guys. I'm sorry.
Exactly. This is a man that is slept on. We talk about sleepers. That is a sleeper. And he's going to blow up and he's going to keep grinding. So be sure to support Noob King.
Thanks, brother.
I appreciate you guys, watching this tier list. I know it's a little longer, but I promise you, there's a lot here. There really is. I mean, looking at this list, I feel really good about it. I really do.
I feel great. I'd love to know in the comments what you guys think about it. It's up to you guys. You guys can literally play any legend you want and make them work. So put it out there, make some videos, make some guides. Like maybe this is your chance to blow up by changing this tier list and making these players better.
Well, thank you again so much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, challenge us on this, really push it. And we'll see you guys all in the next one.
Peace.
Have a good one. Bye.